Hi guys, this is Keita. Don't be a hater, especially with my new haircut. As some of you guys have already noticed it, but I am bringing a guest artist from US and Japan. これはですね、若い頃からの夢でもあったんですけども、僕が生まれた国である日本と、そして今生活しているこのアメリカという国のですね、この2つの国を僕というフィルター、僕ケイタというフィルターを通すことによって、I want you guys to feel very close to both cultures, both countries. And that is actually underlining theme concept of this series. So I hope you guys like this concept. And please let me know about it in the comment section. というわけで今回のゲストは From Houston, Texas. She resides in Los Angeles right now. 本当に素晴らしいバイオリニストです。Leah Zeger.
はい、
Okay, I have to tell you something, guys. Sometimes the blessing comes in a full package. She is amazing violinist, she's amazing singer, and amazing innovative songwriter as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Leah Zeger in the house! Yay! How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Keita.
Thank you very much for being on this show. And Leah and I, I'm so lucky to be in this situation that I can regularly, like pre-COVID, of course, but, we both play in a band called Quattrosound. So I have a, amazing opportunity to like play with her. So that's how I got to know her. So,
I miss playing with you.
oh my goodness, yeah, amazing. So it's kind of pretty mind-boggling to go through your bio and resume, because no matter how you want to describe the full capacity and the full spectrum of who you are and what you do, it's nearly impossible. it's something that's always fall off because it's so full. It's
Yeah.
As a concert violinist, you were the soloist and the first violin in Austin Symphony, and associate concert master and first violinist for like various other symphonies, and as a studio player, you were playing on Wonder Woman soundtrack, Lion King, Deadpool, various like video games, and on stage you played on many rock festivals like bluegrass festivals and performed with John Mayer, Sheryl Crow, Stevie Wonder, and in jazz world you were super well known in gypsy jazz world, and you were often perform and record with cutting edge musicians like Louis Skoll. And
yeah.
and this is just the violinist side of yourself, and you have a whole another chapter as a singer who studied opera in school, and your songwriting skills and lyric writing and the composing skills are just phenomenal. And this is not, I've been like talking about you like almost a minute, and like this is not even the half of what you are. And isn't that crazy? I mean,
It's crazy. I forget,
right?
How many how many hats I've worn.
Exactly. And do you even know how crazily talented you are? I just want to know.
Right now, I feel pretty untalented at loading the dishwasher, but it's like, and I think I accomplished a lot in my youth, like a lot of us do, because you have that passion. For music.
Yeah.
I started as young as 6. So I started at 6. My mom is a violinist, my dad's a cellist.
Right.
So my mom taught me. I practiced really hard until I was like 15. I was practicing hours and hours every day. Very devoted classical player. And then when I turned 15, I got a nerve impingement in my arm. So I couldn't play for 4 years. It was a devastating thing for me and my mom and family. So, I mean, they bought a $75,000 violin for me when I was, they had to get refinance the house.
Wow.
It was more expensive than our house.
That's devotion.
But yeah, I mean, I was that good. I was competing and I was very serious, and then all of a sudden, just nothing. So then I started singing. That's why I started getting serious about voice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then went to study at UT in Austin. And but then all of a sudden I could play again, and I auditioned for the symphony in Austin. And so I was getting my degree in opera at UT while I was playing professionally at 19 in the symphony. So for that 10 years that I lived in Austin, 7 years, but I was commuting back and forth. I was in the symphony for 10 years. I would go back and forth from LA to Austin for a while.
Wow.
But yeah, nobody at UT knew that I was a violinist, let alone a professional violinist.
Right.
And then nobody in the symphony knew that I was a singer.
Right. A lot of people like say that they can play a lot of different genre of music, but like when I play with you, you kind of go to the point that like even the how the depth of the vibrato, how like wide the vibrato is, like you just
good observation. Yes. Wow. And I harp on. I usually teach only classical students to play jazz. the students I usually have are like, I teach them other styles.
Right.
So I teach a classical player how to change up their vibrato or their slides to really be of that style that they're trying to emulate. And
can you like talk a little bit about it? Like, you know, in this style you do this, in this style you do this kind of vibrato. Can you describe a little bit about it?
Well, it's kind of subjective.
In your own way.
I mean, in my own way, I love the versatility of different things you can do with vibrato, but like a jazz vibrato can be really wide, slower, it can go different, any speed you want, whereas classical vibrato is a little more rigid, like what they want you to do, what you're expected to sound like. But my vibrato, I have a kind of a smaller scale instrument. It's on the smaller side, like very, I mean, it's still a full size, but just the slightest size difference it makes my vibrato wider. On this smaller violin, I feel like I can accomplish that, and so I have that warm vibrato that I want.
Right.
And I've played on this instrument since I was 17, and it's nobody knows what it is. It had a fake label on it, but and it's worth, you know, $3,500, but it's really my favorite violin I've ever played. I can't seem to find anything better.
Well, you know, like even like in jazz, like when you do certain, like, you know, what width of the vibrato, it kind of takes you back to like a 60s or like a 30s even, and you know, like
oh yeah, with my singing, I mean, I think I sing like I play, maybe. I think there's some similarities with my voice to the way I play, but I was an opera singer, so I had to tone down that vibrato. I worked hard on that. Going from ah to, you know, like a had plenty money back in 22, and that's still pretty prominent vibrato for jazz. So I had and I had to study, you know, with teachers and just study on my own, like how to do straight tone.
Right.
Force myself, you know. I really mimicked Ella Fitzgerald and Frank Sinatra early on. I think that informed my vibrato.
I want to talk about like your songwriting skills. Because you know, the cynical satire in the lyric contents that you have, and odd meters and changing time signatures all of a sudden, and interesting arrangement, and yet it still has a catchy hook to it. And who's your biggest influence on songwriting, and who's your favorite artist?
I grew up listening to Steely Dan.
Okay.
Steely Dan was a huge. I think there's a lot of satire in their lyrics, and it's just very odd and complex.
Right.
So I'm a big Steely Dan fan because both of my parents they love it. They love that band. And what else? I think Joni Mitchell is a big influence. Her writing is just beautiful. The Beatles, really into their songs, and I think that influenced my writing.
Like in which era of the Beatles though?
All of it. I started from I won a hula hooping contest. My best friend at the time, she was a violinist in my studio, very good also. Her older sister was obsessed with the Beatles, and she had a bat mitzvah that was Beatles themed.
Oh wow.
And she had a hula hooping contest, and I won the contest, and I won a cassette tape with Baby You're a Rich Man and All You Need Is Love. And I was 8 years old, and I was just suddenly smitten with the Beatles. And so I found everything they'd ever done. I mean, I'm a big fan of the White Album. Was for some reason really, I mean, they're all really important albums to me, like Rubber Soul and Revolver. Like, yeah, they're all so great. And Paul McCartney, like,
right.
So that inevitably played a part in my writing. Yeah. I then started later on. I joined a band called the Hudsons, in Austin. It was like these two guys. One was named Brian Hudson and one was named Hudson Mueller. And it's so funny. So they were called the Hudsons, and the three of us, plus a bass player for a part of the time, we were a quartet. And I got to sing 3-part harmony with them and play solos and stuff. And I learned the Southside Boys is one of my songs, and I was influenced by them, by this. They're very country and bluegrassy, but really good songwriters. So I learned from them how to write a song, I think, or that Southside Boys. And that was I put that on my first album, Leah and the Moonlighters. Yeah, that was, and they helped me like learn how to emote when I sang a song and to really mean the lyrics. You know, they made me practice it singing in front of them because I was like an instrumentalist. I was not comfortable singing a song and really meaning every word. And I was very shy and still very self-conscious. So to connect with someone and, you know, make eye contact and have to sing to these two guys, we'd sit in a circle and they're just like, do it again, you don't mean it. So it would really help me. That's my performing, singing a song.
Ground.
Yeah, singer-songwriters. It's very personal and intimate.
Right.
I was also really influenced by, I got some blues licks from Johnny Guitar Watson.
Yeah.
So I was just obsessed with Johnny Guitar Watson. When I discovered him, I was about 12 or something, and I just, wow. I mean, like, just so funky, you know, and I would try to sound like him and slow it down and, you know, just really figure out what he's doing there.
Right.
With his guitar playing. And then who else? Jimi Hendrix was a huge influence on me. I was obsessed with him. Yeah. Wow. Just all the greats, you know.
So I think one of the most notable accomplishments that in your recent career seems to me like it seems to me like is joining the Zimmer band and touring with them. And what is it like to be in that camp? Like, how do you describe it?
It is like it's just he's larger than life. It's really luxury touring. I've done so many tours where I had to rough it and I was stuck in the back of a van for days and weeks. And I playing clubs, like little tiny jazz clubs or whatever. And I adore that. That's a beautiful thing. And I've had to learn to not regret like that everything hasn't been Hans Zimmer in my career. And that it took me a long time. You know, I was, I think 33 when I first went on, whatever, I'll be blatantly honest about how old I am. But yeah, 33 when I got that tour, and I really worked hard to get there. It's like every move, I think Tina Guo, the cellist, she knew me through a lot of content. You know, she posts content and has wonderful videos, and I had kind of emulated her when I got to LA 11 years ago, I started just posting and making videos. And I think that's so important, and not enough people do that. Like, it's all about show people how you can play, and it will speak for itself. Right. And so I just, I made sure to make really great videos. You know, making albums is one thing, but yeah, I always had great videos on YouTube. Right. Nowadays, I need to get better at making videos myself, because that's what everybody's doing. But anyway, so that's how she found me, and she told Hans about me. Oh, wow. And that's how So did I had a little audition.
Or like she just found you like online?
We had worked together once or twice, so she knew who I was, but I think she was like, okay, this girl can play, and I'm gonna refer her. And there was me and 2 other people that were referred for the audition. It was a closed audition. Right. Anyway, so I felt really, really grateful to meet Hans and the crew and his band, and it's just like a stellar group of people, and he treats us so well. Like we stay in 5-star hotels and fly, you know, business class, and I had never experienced that before. So he just really treats us very well. And we work hard though. I mean, we were playing it's a 3-hour show. And I was just standing there all those 3 hours, just really bringing it, because the two violinists and cellists are the only real moving, like, eye candy for the audience, other than the screen with some pretty visuals in the back.
We had to, for the moving.
Yeah, we had to just really get into it the whole time, you know.
Right. Musically, like, you guys are like you guys are really integral part of the.
Oh yeah, and you hear us, like, they have us turned up in the house, and even though we've got a orchestra and a choir and a 19-piece band behind us, we are so prominent in the mix, so we have to really,
do the work.
Know what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hardcore, and we did like a show every other night. Pretty much. At least we got, a day to relax in between. We'd get to a city and I would get to run around and see the city. So that's cool. I love touring. I miss it so much. I know you probably miss it too.
I know. How many different countries have you gone with the band? I can't count.
With Hans?
The Hans?
We did like Australia, New Zealand, all of Canada, all of the US, and then we did like a lot of Europe.
Wow.
So it was something like, and Korea, we got to do South Korea. We did, just 2 years ago, we did Asia, about 5 countries. Japan, I've only played in Japan one time with Rai. Yeah. And it's so frustrating. I've only been to Tokyo for like 2 days, and I still have to get to Japan.
And this question that I'm going to ask you right now is just for my guitar frenzy and guitar crazy people, and including myself, that in the band, the Hans Zimmer band, the guitar player who is playing in the guitar in his band is Guthrie Govan, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how godly he is in the guitar world he is right now. Like, he's just like 2010 to 2020. If you just exclude that 10 years, he is the god. He's like the guitar player.
Yeah.
And
it's incredible. He's so cool.
Really? Because I have watched it's a YouTube clip and playing, but I've never really known how he is as a person, and if you know anything about.
Yeah, he is the sweetest guy ever. He's so sweet. Yeah, so nice. So pleasant, and just really, really wonderful guy. Anybody could get along with him.
Really?
Yeah. He and I just hung out. I love my you pal around with when there are 19 people and they're all really cool in the band. You want to hang out with everybody, so you just have to be like, Guthrie, in this city, I'm going out with you. We're gonna hit the town. You have to make a point, or a group of make sure that you're in that pod with Guthrie. And I want to do this city with Guthrie. So you hang out one night or 2 nights, in that particular tour, and just really get to know each other and have some beers. And the guy, he's just so cool. We would go to a bar, he'd sit in, or even if he didn't sit in, just a random bar, people would be like, there'd be music. It's always a bar with music, live music, and they'd be like, oh my God, Guthrie, can I have a picture with you? In any city.
Right.
But I got to sit in with him just at jam sessions in different cities, in Australia or wherever. But he loves to jam. He just loves an opportunity to just play for fun.
Wow.
Yeah, and but just such a great conversationalist, brilliant guy, and I really love him to pieces. So I can't wait to see him again. But yeah, every night when he played his big solo, he plays beautiful 2-3 minute solo, and it's just every night it's completely different. It's structured differently. It goes different places, and it's just this perfect masterpiece from start to finish. Yeah, so we would all just be listening backstage and like, like, you know, face melting, you know, what a musician.
Wow.
Like, not only you don't find like people that are just have so many chops and are so emotive also, and emotional players. So he has all that.
Right.
And so yeah, he's very inspiring to all of us and makes us all want to be better musicians.
So what is your latest upcoming work? And I know like recently you took on the most troublesome gig in the world called being a mom of two. And it must be challenging to juggle around your schedule, but you know, how...
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, as I'm sure you found out during this pandemic, I've spent more time than I would have with my kids, and I cherish that.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime I have a recording session, my husband has been there. Ira, he's a singer guitarist and has a band himself, and they've been completely out of work for a year. So he's been around if I have to go in the studio and accomplish whatever. I've also got my mom, there's a baby right now, and I can hear it. But yes, I've got my mom and dad. My dad was here. He just went back to Houston. He's going back to Houston tomorrow because he plays cello in the ballet orchestra. But I've had them here to help me with the kids, and that's been a blessing. But yeah, it's really the most challenging thing I've ever done, to raise kids. And it feels like Groundhog Day. Sometimes it's the same thing every day. I dread going to sleep at night because I know that I'm going to be interrupted every couple hours by crying. I just don't know if I'm ever going to sleep again, honestly. But I know I will. It's just that first year. It's so hard.
It feels that way.
Yeah, it feels that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm realizing that the more you put in to raising a child, the more you get back. It's like every little moment that I invest in Ezra. Like today, I was playing on the piano with him. He's almost 2.5, and we play music, like good music for him all the time. Just recordings and stuff. But like I'm trying to get him to understand rhythm and stuff, and I played Twinkle Twinkle Little, and then just let him fill it in and show him the star. How I wonder what you, and then I show him, put your finger there. So I know that it's everything is very, and listening to the ABCs every day. He's obsessed with ABCs. He's obsessed with numbers. It's an amazing process though to see. It's so humbling. Like we all went through this.
Yes.
Drudgery, and it's so boring. But I know that I wouldn't have it any other way. And my husband is really great because he always takes the harder route, and having children is the harder route, you know, in life in some ways. It just is. I'm finding out like it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And so, but I think that there's lots of rewards, and I'm already starting to feel that, see that.
And plus, like we're kind of like giving it back because like that's what we were given, you know, from our parents.
Yes, it's true. Yeah. I mean, how did I luck out and win I won the parent lottery. Mm-hmm. That is almost entirely responsible for my success. I can't say, well, it's my talent. It's only that my mom happened to be the most patient woman on the earth. And my dad is one of the coolest people on the earth as well. And they made me this person that I am. And mom sat with me, and she sat every lesson, every second of the day. She's like, that's flat and this is sharp, and I'm just monitoring my practice, and I'm making games out of it so that you have to manipulate your kid at that age into liking practicing. You have to trick them, because it sucks to practice. At that age especially. You want to be outside playing. So she had to trick me, and that's hard to do. I'm learning. It's hard.
It's very like creative. So like any recording session that you did like recently? Any
like the projects. Let's see. I've got, I just did a version of, what is it called? The Look of Love. The Look of Love. That'll come out soon.
With your own.
With Nick Mancini and some of the musicians. Yeah, we put that together. I have a song that I did with Nima Razai, who did a couple of my videos. He's really great, and he's also a Chapman stick player. So we did a version of Caribbean Blue by Enya, and that'll be coming out soon. We're going to do a video. So yeah, some really exciting things, little projects here and there.
Is it going to be on your channel or is it going to be on their YouTube channels?
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to push for it to be on mine. Yeah. Because I also have my duo with Ira.
Right.
And so Leah and I've just been promoting that and putting out videos, and I think we're going to put out our first original. I want to get one of Ira's songs out into the world because he hasn't ever made an album of his original songs, and they're great. So yeah.
So everybody who is like watching this channel, please go to Leah's channel and please subscribe to her channel as well.
Thank you.
All right, Leah. So on the four. I'm always doing this at the end of this interview that I'm gonna call out the title of the series called Sashi de 101 and Sashi de 101. So I'm gonna give you 3 counts. So we're gonna say it together. Okay.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Sashi de 101. Thank you very much, Leah Zeger, everybody.
Thank you for having me, Keita.
さていかがだったでしょうか。ロサンゼルスはですね、本当にすごいミュージシャンがたくさん住んでる街なんですね。そしてリアも間違いなくその中の一人だと思っています。She has been uploading a lot of videos, so please check it out and subscribe to her channel. On the next episode of Sashide 101, I'm going to feature a young artist, like he's very young. He's 11 years old, child prodigy drummer, Otonori. Thank you very much for watching.